Part 10. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 91. He Yan's hand shook and the wine bottle in her hand crashed to the ground. Fortunately, it was covered with carpet and the bottle was not broken. The corners of her mouth twitched and she looked at Fu Nanli. You have a girlfriend? He Jian. No. Who is that? Fu Nanli frowned and glanced at her, seemingly disgusted with her inquisitiveness and rudeness. He Yan just came to her senses. She was too radical and made Fu Nanli unhappy. Then, it's your birthday in a few days. Can you bring your girlfriend to introduce us to her? He Wan also made a fuss, just stay in Xiaotangshan. I want to see who can conquer you. The first auction item, a simple diamond necklace, had been launched downstairs. There was a large screen in the private room. Fu Nanli dialed the phone and asked his assistant to take a photo of the item. He Jian's face was solemn. After listening to Lin Mingshu's words just now, she realized that Wen Qiao must have taken advantage of Fu Nanli's amnesia to pretend to be his girlfriend. She definitely came with bad intentions and had sinister intentions. No matter what, she must expose Wen Qiao's mask. Wen Qiao didn't receive Sai's reply until 10 o'clock. Sent the audio. That person also cherished his words like gold. But Wen Qiao had an inexplicable sense of trust in him and quickly sent the audio. The master is indeed a master. In just a quarter of an hour, he helped her restore the original sound of the audio, and also included a tutorial, which didn't look cold at all. Wen Qiao still wanted to chat with him, but the other party was offline again. When she clicked on the audio, Wen Qiao's face turned cold. She guessed right, it was indeed Sulu. It's Sulu again. Or Sulu. The whole family has already left the Wen family, but she still refuses to give up. She has worked so hard for so many years. In the beginning, it was up to me to brainwash her so that she would not go to college. The next step is to deliberately anger Wen Qi. Now he is looking for someone to stimulate Wen Mo. Her fingers were tapping the mouse lightly, and there was a chill in her eyes. The news about Wen Mo still spread, and people said that there was a genius autistic boy in number 9 middle school who could not speak, but he won the mathematical Olympiad championship with perfect scores. There was a lot of discussion on the internet and it almost became a trending search. Wen Qiao didn't spend money to reduce the trending search because she knew that there were people who were more anxious than she was. That person is Wen Jianmin. The son he had driven away as soon as he was diagnosed with autism is now living under the spotlight and being talked about with gusto. He was terribly frightened. Even though he spent money to remove the hot search on the internet, many people still called him to ask him about Wenmo. Uncontrollably, many people in Haikan's celebrity circle and his business circle knew that he had an autistic son. Wen Jianmin was furious and called Su Yun to settle the score. Wen Qiao was listening, and Wen Jianmin on the other end of the phone was like crazy, roaring. Autistic people should stay at home, so why should they be taken out? Why should they be interviewed by reporters? Do you want to be in the limelight so much? You've already given 2 million, why do you still need to resort to these tricks? Are you so happy to see me being laughed at by others? Su Yun's fingers trembled after hearing these insults. Wen Qiao took the call and said calmly, "Want to know who broke the news? I'll send you an audio clip to WeChat. Take a look for yourself." While talking, he hung up the phone. Wen Jianmin's cell phone soon received an audio message. He opened it hesitantly, and Sulu's voice came. More updates. Recommended vote to enter the top 100. So I'll add another chapter today, thank you for your support. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 92. It doesn't matter who I am, I'll break the news for you. Tomorrow, there will be a Youth Olympiad Awards ceremony at the City Cultural Center. The champion is very special. Wen Jianmin was so angry that he dropped his phone and left the company angrily. Seeing the comments on the internet fermenting, Sulu twitched the corners of her lips. When Mo has so much attention now, as long as she travels, she will receive attention from others, and the social barrier will be even more serious. Suddenly there were hurried footsteps, and when she looked up, she saw Wen Jianmin hurried to the living room. She got up obediently, and looked at Wen Jianmin with a smile. Snapped. A big slap caught off guard, made Sulu dizzy and fell on the sofa. Zhonghui and Wen Xian, who were watching TV at the side, were startled. Zhonghui ran over quickly, grabbed Wen Jianmin's arm, and said with a pale face, "Jianmin, what's wrong with you? How can you beat the child so well? This white-eyed wolf who eats inside and outside, I raised you for nothing." Sulu huddled on the sofa, trembling and fearful. "Uncle Wen, what's wrong with you?" Wen Jianmin was so angry that he lost his mind, took out his mobile phone, and played the audio he received. "You know how important fame is to me, and you even told reporters to interview Wen Mo, and you told them that he is autistic. I'm a patient with autism. I'm fine now. My business partners all know that I have an autistic son. Sulu, I've always treated you as my own daughter. Why are you repaying your favor like this?" Listening to that audio, Sulu trembled with fright. She obviously used a voice changer. What kind of monster is the other party? Not only got the audio, but also reversed her voice change. Is it Wen Qiao? No. It's impossible. How can Wen Qiao have such great ability? Uncle Wen, that's not me. You also know that with the advanced technology now, someone must have collected my voice and deliberately framed me. You have always treated me as your own. How could I do such a thing? You're still quibbling. Do you think I'm a fool? Your credit card has been suspended by me, so don't expect me to spend money for you again. Zhonghui, did you hear that? At such a time, Zhonghui could only calm down his anger. I heard that. Jianmin, don't be angry. If you do something like this again, get the hell out of Wen's house. After speaking, he rushed out the door angrily. Sulu covered her face and cried in a low voice. Zhonghui pulled her hand away, saw the bright red palm prints on her face, and said sadly, "You girl, why are you so confused? The thing that your Uncle Wen cares about most is what don't you know?" Sulu choked up in a low voice, "Wen Qiao forced me. She tried her best. Zhuangyan is ignoring me now. Am I going to sit still and let her plot against me? It's okay to deal with Wen Qiao, but you have to understand where your Uncle Wen's bottom line is. Do you understand what I'm talking about? I will sincerely apologize to Uncle Wen tonight, and you must think carefully about what you do in the future. Do you understand?" Sulu covered her face and nodded. "Will Uncle Wen forgive me?" "Yes, you will behave better in the future, you know." Sulu's cell phone vibrated, and the message from Wen Qiao. "See you at the back gate of the school at 7:30 in the alley." At 7:30 p.m., it was completely dark, and Sulu arrived at the alley at the back gate of the school 10 minutes earlier. Because it was summer vacation, the shops outside the alley closed early, and the silence in the alley made her scalp tingle. She took out her phone, clicked on the recording, and sneered. "You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment." Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me. The boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 93. Wen Qiao, if you dare to use violence against me, I will expose you. Anyway, as long as it doesn't affect Uncle Wen's face, he won't get angry. Suddenly hearing footsteps, Sulu's heart trembled suddenly. She put her phone into her jeans pocket, and turned to look. The street lights at the alley cast a long shadow behind Wen Qiao. With the backlight, she couldn't see her expression clearly, as if she was killing Shura, walking towards her step by step. Fear was Sulu's first reaction. She reached out to touch the phone in her trouser pocket, and stepped back. Wenqiao, if you dare to touch a single hair of mine, I will expose it to you immediately. As they got closer, Sulu saw Wenqiao's expressionless face and menacing eyes, and she leaned against the wall in fright. Wenqiao, you asked me to come out, is there something wrong? Wenqiao approached her and stretched out his hand. Mobile phone. Sulu trembled. What? Wenqiao looked too lazy to chat with you, looked down, and reached out to take out the mobile phone from her trouser pocket. Sulu's heart was in her throat. Recording. Sulu even stopped breathing in fright. Why is Wenqiao so scary now? Wenqiao turned off the recording software and deleted the audio clip just now. With a bang, the phone was thrown on the ground. She stepped on it, and the phone broke in half. Wenqiao grabbed her by the neck. Sulu's words stuck in her throat, and she looked at her in horror. It's really painstaking for you to notify so many media one by one. Sulu said with difficulty. I didn't. Slap. Wenqiao slapped her hard. I sent the audio to Wen Jianmin. It might be useful to argue with him, but it's useless to me, you know. Sulu's eyes flickered. She didn't dare to look directly at Wenqiao. Not only did you find the media to provoke Wen Mo, but you also found vocational high school students to provoke Wen Qi. What? You want Wen Qi to kill someone by mistake and go to jail? Sulu was horrified and looked at Wenqiao. Why did she know everything? How dare you say that I don't know? Believe it or not, I won't let you get out of this alley tonight. She opened her lips lightly, but the words she said made people feel creepy. Sulu's breath was short of breath and she was extremely panicked. In the future, if you dare to hurt my younger brother or my family again, Sulu, I know what you care about most. I will shatter your dream of a wealthy family and let Wen Jianmin drive you out of the Wen family. Did you hear that? Sulu gasped for breath and stared at Wenqiao. Wenqiao tilted her head and looked at her with a smile. I poked your sore spot, didn't you? If you want to be safe and sound in a wealthy family, then you must be honest with me in the future, and if you dare to bully me again, I will make you pay 100-fold the price. Did you hear that? Sulu was strangled, unable to breathe or speak. Blink when you hear it. Wenqiao's tone was even a bit playful, like a devil hiding a knife in his smile. Sulu could only blink, and Wenqiao patted her face. Remember what you said today, but don't forget the pain when the scar is healed. After finishing speaking, she let go of her neck. Sulu's legs softened, and she half knelt on the ground, coughing violently. Footsteps sounded again, and Wenqiao had already left the alley with frightening steps. She picked up the phone, and the screen was already broken. Wenqiao's foot seemed to have hit a nail on the sole of her shoe, completely ruining her phone. She stood up and stomped her foot angrily. Why was she so cowardly just now? What's so scary about Wenqiao? Obviously it was she who pretended to faint and Zhuangyan misunderstood her, so she waited for an opportunity to retaliate. Thinking of Wenqiao's hideous face under the cold moon, she couldn't help but shudder again, and she had to be more careful in doing things in the future. Back home, Wenqiao's phone vibrated, showing that it was a message from Fu Cheng. It was the cousin Fu Cheng who was closer to Fu Nanli and knew everyone well. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 94. August 18th is the young master's birthday, you know it? A message from Fu Cheng. Wenqiao really didn't know, so she quickly thanked the brother. She was thinking about how to spend the 1 million Fu Zhang gave her on Fu Nanli. It's not easy to spend 1 million yuan as a birthday gift at once. Wenqiao walked into the living room and saw her mother sitting on the sofa, holding the remote control in her hand, watching the TV in a daze. Wen Xiao knew that the matter of Wen Mo was exposed, and Wen Jianmin called her indiscriminately to reprimand her, which hurt her very much. Wen Jianmin is really stupid, confused and irritable, she is not worth it for her mother. There was a knock on the door, and it was Wen's nanny, Aunt Rong. Aunt Rong treated them better than her own father, and would visit them from time to time. I'm going out to buy groceries today, so I stopped by to have a look. Wen Xiao poured Aunt Rong a glass of water, and Aunt Rong sighed and said, Mr. always loses his temper at home recently. Wen Xiao curled his lips and raised a white-eyed wolf stepdaughter, which caused the secret he kept to be known to everyone, and lost the face he valued most, so why not lose his temper every day? I also heard that all the computers in the company were hacked yesterday. I heard that a lot of data was lost. After the husband came back, he made a fuss again. Wen Xiao raised her eyebrows slightly, the computer was hacked. Yeah, I don't understand that either. It is said that at the same time, all the computers in the company were hacked. Wen Xiao was thoughtful, did you find out what happened later? I checked, but I didn't find any problems. I heard that people from a professional computer company were invited to check. They are very high-end technical personnel. I checked back and forth for a day, but I didn't find out who it was. It's a mess. The sun was hot outside. Wen Xiao took out a large watermelon from the refrigerator, cut into several slices, gave one slice to Mother and Aunt Rong, and gave another slice to Wen Qi who was playing games, and finally entered the room with a plate. Xiao Mo has not been in a good state these days and is prone to panic. He took him to Dr. Chen for psychological counseling in the morning, and he spent the rest of the time reading in the bedroom. He was wearing a t-shirt with horizontal stripes. He was fragile and pale. When the door opened, he trembled slightly, and Wen Xiao's heart twitched. She looked at him with a smile, Xiao Mo, eat watermelon. He sat by the bed. Wen Xiao handed him the watermelon, he took a bite and smiled at Wen Xiao. Wen Xiao patted his head, yesterday Wen Jianmin called and reprimanded his mother, are you very angry? Wen Mo lowered his eyes, didn't look at her, and there was no expression on his face. Don't take him to heart, he is just our blood father, but emotionally, we don't need to treat such a person as a father, he talks, you just treat it as a fart. Don't get distracted, you hear me? Wen Mo nodded. He also suffered retribution. I heard from Aunt Rong that all the computers in his company were hacked yesterday. I don't know which hacker master took revenge for us. Wen Mo was already eating watermelon with his eyes closed, as if he didn't hear what she said, and he didn't seem interested in this topic. After a while, a big piece of watermelon was finished. Wen Xiao patted his head, the sun will go down later, it won't be so hot, let's go for a walk, we can't stay at home all the time, you know. He nodded. Wen Xiao left the room with the plate, Aunt Rong had already left, and her mother was cooking dinner in the kitchen. Wen Xiao leaned against the computer table, knocked on the table. Wen Qi looked up at her, what are you doing? Wen Xiao took off his earphones. How is Xiao Mo's computer skills? Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 95. Wen Qi scratched his messy hair, didn't he just use the computer to play Minesweeper? That's it, elementary school level. What about at school? How about computer class? It's not that you haven't been to junior high school. What can you learn in computer class? Typing, the use of office software Word, and Excel, it's over. Wen Xiao crossed her arms, so if masturbation wasn't Xiao Mo, who would it be? On August 18th, it was still hot. In the evening wind from the shallow lake blew over, making Xiaotangshan slightly cooler. In the yard outside the private room, two bros and Iris bloom alternately. He Jun, He Yan, and Fu Chuan and Fu Cheng came early, and the two brothers Fu Huayuan and Fu Huaiming were dispatched to Africa. This time, Fu Nanli could not come to congratulate Fu Nanli on his birthday. On Shuiying Road, when Wen Qiao saw Lu Yuyu, her jaw almost dropped in shock. She tugged on her trailing skirt. "Do you want it to be so grand?" Lu Yuyu was very excited. "Qiao Qiao, I also want to thank you for taking me to Fu Xiao's birthday party, and it's Xiaotangshan, so of course I have to dress up to attend." Wen Qiao picked from the closet and chose a white dress. "Change to this one, your trailing dress is too exaggerated." "Exaggerated? Very exaggerated." Fu Nanli's message came. The car had already parked at the alley. Wen Qiao hurriedly helped Lu Yuyu change her clothes, and then hurriedly dragged her out the door. "Lu Yuyu has always been self-conscious. It's good that my driver will take me to Xiaotangshan, so I won't bother you and young Master Fu." Fu Nanli smiled at her preciously, and Lu Yuyu held the car behind with a nympho face. Wen Qiao got into the car, clinging to the man again, and he just came back after flying. She was a little flustered. She is wearing a dark red dress with suspenders. She has a very good figure, without a trace of fat. Against the red background, her skin is as white as suet jade. In the thick night, her complexion was even more meandering. He picked up the long velvet box beside him, and took out a necklace from it. "Turn your back, I'll put it on for you." Wen Qiao was a little confused. "Huh? I don't usually wear this kind of necklace." The icy touch of the necklace and the warmth of his fingertips had already settled in his neck. "Then wear it for special occasions," the voice pressed against her ear, and her heart throbbed inexplicably. Wen Qiao looked down at the sparkling diamond necklace around her neck, distressed. "I'm a student, so I'm not suitable for wearing such expensive things." "It's not expensive, and you don't need to have a psychological burden." Wen Qiao breathed a sigh of relief. "As long as it's not expensive." But she forgot that what Fu Nanli thought was not expensive was not the same standard. "Today is your birthday, isn't it?" She climbed his shoulders and looked up at him slightly. She didn't know that such a posture would make her eyes slightly hooked. With an indescribable charm, every frown and smile seemed to be seductive. Seeing the words Hilton Hotel flashing outside, Fu Nanli resisted the urge to ask the driver to stop and carry him into the hotel. His Adam's apple rolled hard. Seeing that he looked serious and didn't speak, Wen Qiao started to touch his face. "It's your birthday today, why didn't you tell me?" Fu Nanli grabbed her hand, breathing heavily. "Don't touch it randomly." Wen Qiao smiled. "You can look forward to the birthday present I prepared for you." Fu Nanli obviously couldn't wait to press the car window. The car window was cracked open, and the wind from the lakeside blew in, and most of the charm was gone. The man closed his eyes and let out a breath. "Add more. Ask for a recommendation ticket. Recommended votes enter the top 50 and then update." You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me. The boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 96. The car had already parked in front of the club, and Fu Nanli was surrounded by stars and entered the private room as before. As soon as the door opened, several people inside immediately stood up. Only He-jun was still lazy on the sofa. He-yan saw the girl in Fu Nanli's arms, and with just one glance, her heart sank to the bottom. Minjian, the girl is very aggressively beautiful, with a very flamboyant beauty. Every facial feature is perfect, a small face the size of a palm, a slender neck, and very, protruding and warped, and her skin is as white as milk. Leaning in Fu Nanli's arms, it is the model appearance of the misfortune of the king does not go to court early in ancient times. Moreover, what she was wearing around her neck was clearly the diamond necklace that Fu Nanli had spent 7 million on a charity dinner 2 days ago. It turned out to be given to her. He-wan got excited all of a sudden, got up and walked to Fu Nanli. "Fu Nanli, you can find such a beautiful girlfriend quietly. The girl is so beautiful, she can be regarded as gorgeous. Hiken, also known as Sijukan. After talking about shaking hands with Wen Qiao, Fu Nanli took him into his arms and walked towards the sofa. This is Hejun, my friend. Wen Qiao politely called brother Hejun. Fu Nanli frowned upon hearing this. She didn't seem to have called him brother before, she called him brother in various ways last time, and today she called brother Hejun again. The pronunciation is soft, and the apex of my heart is itchy. I want to call the name brother his exclusive term. The hand around her waist tightened slightly. Lu Yuyu looked at Fu Nanli with a smile. Young Master Fu, can I take a photo with everyone? The purpose of coming here today is to blow Sulu and Zhao Tong to death in the circle of friends. Because she was Wen Qiao's friend, Fu Nanli gave her a lot of face and beckoned a few people over. Wen Qiao whispered, don't call Fu Nanli, he doesn't like to show his face. Fu Nanli pulled her wrist hard, and Wen Qiao fell on his lap. The man's deep voice came, then you will block it for me. Wen Qiao's face became hot, redness spread from her cheeks to her neck, she instinctively reached out and grabbed the man's thumb, and looked back at him, you. The man stretched out his hand and turned her face away, with a hint of a smile in his voice, look at the camera, I took a picture. Lu Yuyu raised her eyebrows, this angle is good, Qiao, you completely blocked Fu Xiao, I'm going to take a picture, 1, 2, 3. The photo is taken. He Yan's face was not very good looking, watching Wen Qiao get off Fu Nanli's lap with a blushing face. Fu Nanli only introduced her brother, but once again ignored her. She picked up the velvet box on the side and walked over, Nanli, this is my birthday present for you. Vacheron Constantine Joint Limited Edition, designed by myself, the diamond on the dial. Thanks, let it go. He Yan's heart sank for the second time. Not only is this watch expensive, approaching $1 million, but she has spent a lot of time designing it half a year ago, but he didn't even bother to take a look at it. She was a little embarrassed, but it was her brother who helped her out, picked up the box and brought it to Fu Nanli, it's too much to even look at it. Fu Nanli opened the box and raised his eyebrows slightly, it's very beautiful, thank you. After speaking, put the lid on the box and put it aside. The perfunctory in the tone can be heard by anyone. He Yan looked at Wen Qiao and forced a smile, what gift did you prepare for Nanli? I heard that it was the Wen family's daughter who was kicked out, so the gift should be very poor. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 97. Wen Qiao looked at Fu Nanli with a smile, do you have an astronomical telescope here? Have. Can you send them here? Fu Cheng, ask them to send it over. Okay. He Yan smiled, could it be that he gave Fu Nanli some stars all over the sky, without spending a penny, and relying on opportunism? This girl is not sincere enough. In about 10 minutes, an astronomical telescope was pushed into the yard by a trolley, and Wen Qiao took Fu Nanli's hand and walked out. He Yan, who was following behind the crowd, chuckled, it really was a trick of elementary school students, without sincerity. The staff removed the telescope, and Fu Cheng said to Fu Nanli, brother, you are a student of astrophysics, so you can adjust the parameters yourself, we don't understand these things either. He Yan said with a smile, could it be, to send some meteor shower to Nanli, will there be a Leonid meteor shower tonight? I have to say that although this gift doesn't cost money, the idea is so damn romantic. It's really going to take advantage of the loopholes. Wen Qiao smiled, no. She spent a lot of money on this gift, a whole $1 million. While adjusting the telescope in his hand, Fu Nanli explained to Wen Qiao, if the telescope is equipped with an equatorial mount, you need to adjust the right ascension and declination axes of the telescope to balance. Let me see what. Wen Qiao squinted one eye and looked at the camera. Can you see the asteroid group at the tail of Leo? Fu Nanli shortened his body, bowed his head to look for the constellations, and adjusted the angle. Did you see it? Which ones? Fu Nanli drew a pattern on her palm. Can you see it? A few light bulbs behind quietly watched the two show their affection. He Yan's eyes were full of loneliness. Well, I can see that there are 10 stars in total. I bought them and named them after you, Fu Nanli. This is my birthday present to you. Fu Nanli raised his eyebrows slightly. Huh. As soon as Wen Qiao clapped his hands, Lu Yuyu immediately handed over the certificate, and Wen Qiao held the asteroid naming certificate to Fu Nanli with a smile. Hey, I bought you 10 stars, a number certificate issued by the International Astronomical Union, and they will use that part of the subscription money to do charity and continue to research and develop astrophysics. He Yan's eyes dimmed completely. Fu Nanli University majored in astrophysics. This little girl is too good at matching her up. This gift is romantic and meaningful. In comparison, her famous watch is a joke. Fu Chen was the first to applaud. Brother, Xiao Wen really put a lot of thought into this gift. Asteroid subscriptions are not cheap. She sold 10 asteroids, let alone 1,000,000. Xiao Wen, you can, how throw 1,000,000 to make handsome Boa smile. Wen Qiao looked at Fu Nanli with a smile. Do you like it? Fu Nanli wrapped her arms around her waist with one hand, and held her face in the other. You gave me the best gift I've received over the years. Wen Qiao clung to his arm and smiled foolishly. As long as you like it. Do you know about the Fuxian Lake Observatory? The observation effect will be better over there. Let's go there to see in the future. Like the stupid son of a landlord's family who spends a lot of money just to smile for the Pomeranians. Everyone felt that the roles were reversed. Fu Chen whispered, okay, let's leave the yard to other young lovers, let's leave quickly, otherwise the young master will serve you coldly in a while, so be sensible. He Yan was dragged away by her brother. On the balcony of another private room, He Yan lit a cigarette, frowning and smoking. He Wan glanced at her. Give up, I've never seen him look at anyone with such gentle eyes. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 98. He Yan puffed out the smoke ring. I was diagnosed with color weakness, and I didn't give up on jewelry design. Brother, you should know that in my dictionary, there is no word for giving up. Why should you? He Yan looked up at the same starry sky outside. I thought you knew how much I liked him. Do you think there is room for a third person to intervene between those two? He Yan smiled. The little girl's background is not very good. The Fu family can't tolerate such a girl as a wife. Before marriage, he can have fun and get married. His grandfather will not allow him to marry such a girl. He Jun lit a cigarette ash. Just be stubborn. If you get hurt then, don't blame me for not reminding you. He Yan lowered her eyes, looking like she couldn't get in. When Wen Qiao turned around, she realized that the people who had been crowded by the French windows just now had disappeared at some point. The courtyard was full of flowers and the starry sky above her head. It was as romantic as a dream. Fu Nanli, who doesn't smile often, is in a good mood tonight. Wen Qiao knew that this gift was indeed the right one. As long as he is happy. She likes to see him happy. His face got closer and closer. Wen Qiao panicked, but forgot to push him away. With a bang, the door was pulled open. Wen Qiao suddenly woke up, and pushed Fu Nanli's chest. Fu Nanli's forehead twitched twice, and his eyes were full of gloom. Fu Chuan forced a smile. Let's have dinner, the waiter is starting to serve. Wen Qiao looked at Fu Chuan with complicated eyes. Why did he choose this time to come in to sweep Fu Nanli's interest? This Fu Chuan was really staring at her. But also grateful to his sudden arrival for waking her up. She must be crazy, she didn't resist Fu Nanli's kiss just now, and almost kissed her. She unconsciously touched the corner of her lips, but luckily she reined in, and the first kiss was still there. Wen Qiao stretched out his hand to Fu Nanli. I'm hungry, let's go eat quickly. With a gloomy face, Fu Nanli hugged Wen Qiao, and passed by Fu Chuan. Fu Chuan forced a smile. This dinner, He Yan suffered a lot. Because Mr. Fu, who has always been noble, helped the little girl around him do everything from washing spoons with lemonade to pouring wine to serving dishes. The little girl was served by him like a proud princess. She couldn't hold back, her face was gloomy, and she didn't want to do the forced smile on the surface. After dinner was finally over, Lu Yuyu, who had taken 8G photos, was satisfied. He called back and went to Wen Qiao. I'm leaving first, why don't you stay in Xiaotangshan with Fu Xiao tonight? Wen Qiao glared at her. I'll go with you. Turning around to say goodbye to Fu Nanli, the man held him back and whispered in her ear, I'll take you back tomorrow morning. Wen Qiao shook, and pulled Lu Yuyu desperately. She drank a lot of wine and got drunk. I want to send her back. Just as Lu Yuyu was about to shake her head, Wen Qiao pinched her waist, and Lu Yuyu felt that Fu Xiao looked at her with Ling Qi in his eyes. Actually, I'm not drunk, and I don't need someone to accompany me, but she didn't dare to say it, because Qiao pinched her so painfully. At the side, Fu Chuan called Fu Nanli to stop, as if he was talking about business affairs. When Wen Qiao saw this, he immediately pulled Lu Yuyu and slipped away without a sound. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 99. Lu Yuyu wanted to cry but had no tears. I feel like I'm on Fu Xiao's assassination list. Qiao, I'm finished. Wen Qiao pulled her into the car, and said to the driver as if she couldn't wait to get on her brows, go, go. Lu Yuyu looked at her ambiguously. My next title, it's called, When Xiao Qiao quickly escaped from Mr. Fu's king-size bed. Wen Qiao pinched her again, and Lu Yuyu screamed. Fu Nanli looked back again, and Wen Qiao had long since disappeared, looking at Fu Chuan with hints of displeasure. On September 1st, Wen Qiao started school. Yanjian is in the university town, and the university town is divided into 3 campuses. Therefore, the canteen and dormitory of the reopened university students of the Conservatory of Music, the Drama Academy, and Heiken No. 1 University are all together. The School of Drama is full of students with outstanding looks. When Fukai University throws a brick at Wool, the ones hit are all the top students in the college entrance examination of a certain place. Only the popular majors of piano, cello, and violin are more popular in Yanjian. And Wen Qiao's folk music department is at the bottom of Yanjian. Therefore, among the 3 universities, the students of the folk music department belong to the bottom of the food chain. On the day of the report, the students gathered in the living area after receiving daily necessities. Both Wen Qiao and Lu Yuyu signed up for the boarding system. Although the school is not far from home, they still plan to go home and live at home, but the school has reserved a dormitory so that they can stay at the school for one night in case something happens. The living area is very lively. After all, it is a mixed dormitory of 3 institutions of higher learning. Wen Qiao saw Sulu and Zhao Tong. While Sulu didn't see Wen Jianmin, Wen Qiao smiled, and Sulu's eyes met her, a little scared, and quickly avoided. Wen Qiao was queuing up to receive dormitory supplies, lazily leaning on the suitcase, took out her phone, and sent a message. Sulu's phone vibrated, and she looked down. If there is another bad comment about me in the university, you just wait for me. She was so angry that she gave Wen Qiao a hard look. Her evil thoughts could only be suppressed. She was really afraid of Wen Qiao now. Zhao Tong gloated and said, There are a total of 368 new students in the Central Music Department. The Department of Folk Music is full of students. There are only 38 students in total. Among the 38 students, more than half of them are trying to find ways to transfer. Seeing Wenqiao are the four-eyed boys in the queue at the back, the short ones and the exotic clothes non-mainstream. The students of Minil look so stupid, Wenqiao is just like them, no one will take them seriously. Only then did Sulu smile. The camps were clearly divided, and they were the top students, while Wenqiao was the poor students. Why should she have the same knowledge as the underachievers? Wenqiao was also dressed in ordinary clothes, t-shirt, jeans, canvas shoes, and a peaked cap, and played with her mobile phone with her head down. The seniors didn't notice that there was a beautiful woman hidden in the non-mainstream group in the folk music department. Everyone ran to Sulu and the others to help carry their luggage. Lu Yuyu snorted softly, "Look at those seniors, scrambling to help Sulu and the others carry their luggage, and look at the beauties majoring in piano and cello, all of them look like proud peacocks, what are you talking about?" Wenqiao was still playing with her mobile phone. Anyway, she was strong and didn't need other people's help. She could still help Lu Yuyu carry it. A few seniors on the side chatted excitedly, "Have you seen Dai Yi, the new school belle of the School of Drama? She is really beautiful." Lu Yuyu snorted softly, "That Dai Yi, during the art exam, she started to buy a marketing account for the most beautiful art candidate, I think that's it, Chiao, it's far worse than you, really." When Chiao's phone vibrated and received a message that 2 million had been credited to her account. She was dumbfounded. 2 million? I thought it was impossible to get into the top 50. I underestimated you. Add more. Continue to ask for recommendation tickets. Amnesiac Bigshot remembers only me, the boss lost his memory and only remembers me. Author, Ding Jiashu. Chapter 100. Hey, that is called Sulu. She's also quite beautiful, very pure, and has won an international award. Is there any freshman prettier than her? It seems that I didn't notice it. I guess it will become our school's new schoolgirl. Look, there are so many seniors who have to help her carry her luggage, and 7 or 8 of them surround her. Lu Yuyu snorted coldly, and muttered in a low voice, "The most beautiful ones are behind you, the ones who are blind." Wenqiao didn't care about Lu Yuyu muttering beside her, she was completely stunned by the 2 million. Fu Nanli's message came quickly, "Pocket money for you." Wenqiao. After finally spending the 1 million that Fu Zhang called her, he turned around and sent 2 million. She was really speechless. A sense of sight that can't be spent forever. I don't need so much pocket money. Going to board the plane. There was a clamor behind them. The group of seniors who were usually gentle playing the violin and piano had a dispute over the right to carry Sulu's luggage. When 2 tall boys snatched Sulu's suitcase, they accidentally bumped into Wenqiao. Wenqiao, who was still struggling with how to return the 2 million yuan, was knocked to the ground by them. It's really the pot coming from the sky. When Wenqiao fell to the ground, Sulu was the most nervous. Originally, Wenqiao lowered her head to play with her mobile phone, and few people noticed her, but now that she fell to the ground, many people's eyes gathered. She hated Wenqiao being the focus of others' attention in any way. Lu Yuyu helped Wenqiao up, and looked at the 2 boys fighting over the luggage with righteous indignation. Are the eyes just for decoration? Didn't you see someone behind? Wenqiao's peaked cap fell off, and he reached out to pat the dirt on his body. When he looked up, the 2 boys stared blankly. The bright and flamboyant beauty rushed towards her face with an oppressive vision. Beautiful, more beautiful than Sulu. Even more beautiful than Dai Yi, the school belle of the drama academy. The 2 boys just looked at Wenqiao dumbfounded. Lu Yuyu scolded angrily, "What are you looking at? I haven't seen a beautiful woman before." The two boys realized that they were from the Department of Folk Music, and they said in their eyes, "The big beauty has a bad brain, and she chose such a hopeless major as the Department of Folk Music." Sulu kept her heart up, nervously looking at the boys who were staring at Wenqiao. The seniors who originally wanted to help Wenqiao with her luggage found out that she was from the Department of Folk Music, so they all gave up on this idea. After all, everyone looked down on the folk music department. She was originally a big beauty with a full score, but because she was from the folk music department, her beauty score was instantly discounted to only 70 points. As for Sulu, although she is only about 70 to 80 in appearance, but because she plays the piano and has won an international Grand Prix, with the blessing of countless halos, she is instantly upright, and it is more honorable to praise Sulu than Wenqiao. There was still no one around Wenqiao, and Sulu was still crowded. Sulu breathed a sigh of relief, and glanced at Wenqiao proudly. Does Wenqiao care about these things? She didn't have Sulu in her eyes at all, and she didn't have these superficial boys. She was worried about how to return the 2 million to Fu Nanli. Whoever gives pocket money is 2 million. Asking Wen Jianmin for 2 million is already a shame. Why is Fu Nanli so generous to her? After collecting the daily necessities, Sulu and Zhao Tong were relaxed, and the seniors took over the burden of carrying the luggage, and walked past Wenqiao and the others triumphantly. Wenqiao's dormitory was on the 5th floor, and when Lu Yuya walked to the 2nd floor with her luggage, she gasped for breath.